All right, welcome back to the Catalyst podcast. We have Alexandra Hoffman, and we have been talking about business resiliency, just managing crisis, managing change, just very dynamic atmosphere for businesses. We've been talking about just her experience and the things that she's gone through. Definitely want to encourage you, as usual. Here we are on episode 3 with Alexandra. Don't miss 1 and 2, or you're going to be kind of out of context coming into this. But really, Alexandra, as we kind of begin to land this plane, I would like to talk about, what are you energized by, looking forward? What are you excited about as you look at, the balance? Here we are, kind of coming to an end in 2021, and looking at 2022. What's energizing you as you look forward?
Wow, that's a loaded question.
It is.
I'm energized by the what comes next, which I don't really know what it is, right? Um, at least even for Crisis I've had to rebuild it from scratch in May 2020. Not only because of COVID, I had made some strategic mistake during the first year. So I had to redo the entire thing. And I think one of the key lesson I have from those past 2.5 years as a CEO is that it's impossible to plan. Of course, I have a sense of what I want to do, where I want to go. I have a vision for myself, for my family, for my company, but I can't plan according to the external environment. So I'm excited about just the future opportunities, really.
Mm-hmm.
I know that I've learned so much in the past 1.5 years, so much just doing what we're doing right now virtually.
Mm-hmm.
Without COVID, we wouldn't be here, seriously, Hunter. So it's
Right.
just insane for me, right?
Right.
I'm in France, you're in the US. I think it broke those borders, and I think it's beautiful in that sense. So learning this, learning to thrive into the virtual world and to be part of it, basically, was really cool and is really cool, I think. So I'm excited about what comes next. I'm open to whatever comes next, to be honest with you. Whatever I have to learn, whatever I have to do, I'll do it.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's exciting. What and can we talk a bit about? And I'm pivoting here a little bit, but I wanted to be sure while I've got it in front of me, you have alluded to the reading list on your website, but it's my understanding you also kind of have some kind of monthly freebie or something like that. Can you talk about what listeners can find there on your website?
So it's going to be quarterly. And the next freebie will be about the 10 mistakes resilience leaders make.
Okay.
So it's going to be an interesting one. I'm building it right now.
Oh, wow. That's cool. So that's a quarterly thing, and you can go to the website and
I want to make it quarterly. I think I put it every quarter.
Quarter. Okay.
Sorry. So this one will be a freebie as well. 10 mistakes that we make. And I say we because as a CEO, as a mom, as a family leader, I'm a crisis leader basically as well, right? So we're all crisis leaders. And what I'm trying to do as well here by speaking with you, to be honest, Hunter, is to democratize that subject and to make it open and known. I think it's a good thing because the COVID-19 pandemic really made it known, made our job known. Because typically, I remember I would always do my job most of the time in the shadow or backstage. I would say we keep things confidential and for good reasons, right? But I think it's a good thing that now everyone around the world has become a crisis leader of its own.
Right.
Because I think there's a huge window of opportunity then for companies to onboard all of the stakeholders on those topics, to talk about resilience, to talk about change management within resilience and crisis management, because people will understand what we talk about.
Right.
Finally.
It's
relevant. Because I remember 18 years in companies spending days explaining to people what we do, what security is about, what crisis management is about, what business continuity is about, what incident management is about. Now we don't barely have to explain this to people on the street, right?
Right.
And I think it's pretty good because it's a necessary part of life.
Yeah. No, I agree. I appreciate you calling that out. I mean, if it's relevant to everybody now. There's context for every single individual, unless for some reason you've literally been living under a rock. But I think kind of what you were discussing earlier, I think in episode 2, about it being more compliance driven or insurance driven, something like that. It seems to, hey, this is the time that we flip that script. And it's more of a proactive path of success, as opposed to just hey, this is required, we got to do it, kind of eye roll kind of thing. So I appreciate you mentioning that, and I look forward to seeing what you have coming out with the next quarter.
I will publish it on LinkedIn. You'll be the first to know.
Awesome. So in the last, I guess, topic I wanted to cover is, and you have a diverse experience. You've traveled the world, which is awesome. I love that you kind of talked a little bit about what your motivations were earlier in your career, and that you were really driven by being able to travel and things like that. So I'm anxious to hear your answers here, but what advice would you give to the younger professional, whether it is centered around crisis management or just broadly speaking based off of your experience?
That's a tough one. That's a tough one. A good one, a big one is learn to love your mistakes. That would be a big one. That would be a big one.
I like that.
Learn to love your mistakes. And when I say mistakes, it can be a mistake, intentional mistake. So you made a decision and it didn't work out, basically. But it can be also a misstep. So you made a decision, it was, or something happened and it was not your intention, and it still, led to somewhere that was not good for you. And I think learning to love our mistakes would be a big one. At least I think it was, if I was my younger self, that would be like, embrace your mistakes. Embrace your mistakes, and it's all good, and it doesn't have to be perfect. I know everyone says that, but it's true. It's true, and I think it's actually even better if it's not perfect. This is how we learn. This is how we grow. Everything I'm doing today is based on mistakes I've made. I have that great quote on my site, actually, on my website. Let me find it. I love it. I'm going to quote it right now. It's about making mistakes. I think it's the night. An expert is a person who has made all the mistakes that can be made in a very narrow field. Yeah.
Like that.
And so that would be my advice to young people.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love it. Where, if someone wants to get in touch with you, connect with you, we've mentioned crisisally.com. You alluded to LinkedIn. I know that's how we initially connected, which has been great. What would you steer your,
I have my LinkedIn profile, which I'm on every day, and my Instagram as well, which is Crisis Ally. I have my Instagram account.
Nice.
But honestly, if people want to connect on LinkedIn, it's super easy, and very open-minded people can ping me, connect with me, send me a message, and I'm very okay to chat and to have conversations. So feel free.
Awesome. And I will have this detailed information in the show notes for those listening. You can go there and figure out how the best way to connect with Alexandra. It's been a pleasure. I appreciate your time. It's great that we could coordinate this with the time difference and all that. I appreciate being flexible. It's been a real pleasure.
Thank you so much, Hunter. It's been a real pleasure as well for myself to talk about this journey, to go through Crisis Ally's journey, and even to think about this, loving my mistakes, right? It's a good reminder for myself. So no, it was perfect. Thank you very much.